The Kansas City Chiefs defense came into this game with a plan: shut down the Raiders' quick passing game at all costs. But they had no idea they were walking straight into Scott Turner's trap. 7 plays. That's all it took for the Raiders to rack up 250 yards against one of the NFL's most elite defenses. And if you think that's shocking, wait until you see how they did it. But this story isn't just about exposing the Chiefs' defense. It's about something much bigger. Because what happened on Sunday might have just changed everything we thought we knew about the Raiders' future. And while everyone's debating about that number 2 draft pick, Aidan O'Connell just put on a performance that's forcing us to ask some serious questions. In the next few minutes, we're going to break down exactly how the Raiders unveiled their new offensive identity, why it worked so perfectly against the Chiefs, and what this means for the Silver and Black's future. Honestly, this is hilarious. Raiders offense just destroyed Antonio's 2025 draft strategy. What's up, buddies? If you're new here, hit that subscribe button right now. This is your go-to spot for all things AFC West, where we break down the latest news with fresh perspectives you won't find anywhere else. Let's dive in. By the time the Chiefs realized what was happening, it was already too late. The Chiefs entered this matchup thinking they had the Raiders figured out. For those first 2 drives, they succeeded at taking away quick passing game. Every short route covered. Every quick read shut down. But things got interesting in the first play of the second quarter and changed everything. Instead of trying to force those short passes, Turner and O'Connell decided to throw the ultimate counterpunch, a 43-yard bomb to Jakobi Meyers that caught everyone off guard. It wasn't just a lucky shot, it was pre-planned. Did you notice the accuracy? That was the moment Turner revealed his master plan. You see, while the Chiefs were focused on taking away quick game, Turner noticed something crucial in their coverage. They were playing underneath, practically begging Raiders to go deep. And that's exactly what the Raiders did. Let me break down what happened next, because this is where Turner's offense really starts to shine. Jakobi Meyers, playing 92% of offensive snaps, became the primary weapon. But it's how they used him that matters. That 43-yard connection, it came from Turner's perfect read of the Chiefs' cover 4 defense. 1 motion, 1 adjustment, 1 perfect throw. Let's talk about Brock Bowers. Playing 81.64% of the offensive snaps, he's not just out there running routes. He's redefining how defenses approach this team. That jaw-dropping 29-yard one-handed grab? Absolute magic. But the real story lies in the play design. Turner dialed it up perfectly, creating a mismatch by forcing the cornerback and linebacker to switch, giving Bowers the one-on-one matchup fans dream about. And here's where things get even more exciting: the ground game. Sincere McCormick, logging 38% of the snaps, turned his 12 carries into a solid 64 yards. That's not just running the ball, that's efficient, productive football, powered by an offensive line that's finally hitting its stride. Speaking of the offensive line, their performance has been quietly impressive. Colton Miller anchored the line, playing 93.32% of snaps, while Jackson Powers-Johnson contributed a solid 76.91%. This group isn't just holding the line, they're giving Aidan O'Connell the time and space to execute Turner's vision to perfection. This is the kind of synergy that's transforming the offense into a legitimate threat, and he executed perfectly. That 58-yard touchdown to Trey Tucker? That was insane. That wasn't just a deep ball. That was O'Connell, reading the defense, trusting his receiver who played 85% of offensive snaps and delivering a perfect strike while taking a hit. This isn't just an offense finding its rhythm. This is an offense evolving before our eyes. Turner isn't just calling plays, he's setting up defenses, creating mismatches, and most importantly, putting his players in positions to succeed. Remember when everyone said O'Connell couldn't make the big throws? Well, 250 yards on 7 plays against the Chiefs tells a different story. O'Connell isn't proving doubters wrong anymore. He is just making things right. Now, while the offense was making headlines, let's talk about what the defense did to Patrick Mahomes, because this was something special. 5 sacks. Let that sink in. Against Patrick Mahomes. Against this Chiefs offensive line. Our pass rush didn't just show up, they dominated. Yes, 5 sacks in one single game. In Mahomes' entire career, his highest sack total for a full season was 28. That was back in 2021 across 17 games. He's already surpassed his career worst, and the final nail was hammered in by the Raiders themselves. Let me break down these numbers further because they tell a story that changes everything even experts thought about this defense. K'Lavon Chaisson, 6 pressures and 1.5 sacks. But it's how he got them that matters. Playing with a relentless motor, he disrupted the Chiefs' offensive rhythm all game long. Then there's Max Crosby. I call him A legend in progress, playing 87.95% of defensive snaps, he wasn't just rushing, he was hunting. That brutal fourth-quarter sack? That's what elite looks like. But it's not just about the sacks, it's about the constant pressure, the disruption, the way he forces quarterbacks to think twice. For the first 43 minutes of this game, the Chiefs had 4 drives into the Raiders' territory. You know how many ended in touchdowns? Just 1. The other 3? Field goals. Against the Kansas City Chiefs, that's not just good defense. That's elite defense. Defense from the team ranking in last. Look at how Patrick Graham deployed the secondary. Trayvon Moehrig playing 98.20% of snaps. Robert Spillane at 97.37%. Jack Jones at 91.83%. They all executed the game plan perfectly, and what I say, amazingly. And defensive line rotation was masterful. Adam Butler playing 77.84% of snaps. John Jenkins at 56.37%. Fresh legs are keeping the pressure constant. That's how you contain an offense like Kansas City's. So, this is the real story about how Patrick Graham's scheme confused one of the NFL's best quarterbacks. Multiple coverages, disguised blitzes, perfect execution. While many are fixated on the Raiders potentially landing the number 2 pick in the next draft due to their current record, but let me shift your focus to what's truly happening on the field. Aidan O'Connell isn't just managing games anymore. He's actively leading the team to compete and win. He's playing every single offensive snap, making tough throws, reading defenses like a seasoned pro, and showing remarkable growth with every play. So maybe instead of dwelling on draft positions, they should be excited about O'Connell's development and what it means for the future of this team. And this is actually my question to the fans, experts, and the Raiders management. Do they really need to spend that number 2 pick on a quarterback? Because here's what nobody's talking about. If Raiders win just one more game, they could drop from number 2 all the way to number 8 in the draft. And looking beyond just draft position, the Raiders find themselves at a pivotal crossroads. The debate isn't simply about keeping or moving away from Aidan O'Connell, but about recognizing the deeper implications of their draft strategy. Winning one more game could drop them in draft pick position, but here's the kicker. What if that actually benefits them? Let's be honest about this quarterback class. The top prospects? We're looking at Jalen Milroe, Cam Ward, and Shadir Sanders. This isn't last year's draft class with Bryce Young and CJ Stroud. These are prospects that some analysts have rated as 3rd and 4th round talents. Meanwhile, look at what they're building right now. They've got Brock Bowers emerging as possibly the best tight end in the NFL. Scott Turner's offense is showing elite potential with every game. Defensive scheme just proved it can frustrate even Patrick Mahomes. The offensive line is finally coming together as a unit. Young weapons like Trey Tucker are playing 85% of snaps and making explosive plays happen. The question isn't just about O'Connell versus a rookie quarterback. It's about continuing to build around what's working versus starting over. And speaking of what's working, look at how Turner's using his personnel. The way he designs plays, the way he's attacking defenses. This isn't just a coordinator calling plays, this is someone building an offensive identity. But don't just take my word for it. The numbers speak for themselves. The film tells the story. This isn't just progress. This is potential turning into production. So, Raiders Nation, we've covered a lot today, but now it's time to hear from you. Do you think Aidan O'Connell has proven enough to be the Raiders' quarterback of the future? With the number 2 draft pick in play, would you rather see the Raiders invest in a quarterback or keep building around players like Brock Bowers and Sincere McCormick? What do you think about Scott Turner's offense? Is this the system that can finally take the Raiders to the next level? And here's the big one. Is it worth winning a few more games this season, or should the focus be on securing the best possible draft position? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed this breakdown, and subscribe for more in-depth Raiders and AFC West coverage. Thanks for watching, and let's see how this journey unfolds.